our Chick-fil-A fan cam with a big tip of the hat to the herd. The student section was here early, loud, rocking and rolling. I mean, colorful. It looks more like a LeBron James before warm-up prior to kickoff here. But, of course, with the fans of BYU and Utah State here, the Aggie fans, I mean, in the last 41 years, 5 wins over BYU. Without Tanner Mangum and with the BYU offense struggling, here's Hodge. The toss, Hodge complete inside the 10, and it is a touchdown, BYU, for just the 5th offensive touchdown this year for the Cougars. This one 26 yards to the fullback, El Bakri.
The reverse pass to the wheel route is a direct result of this offense having a bye week to install some special plays that Utah State hadn't seen. It's thrown on the money. Another missed tackle by the Aggies, and just the 5th touchdown of the year by the Cougars to take the lead.
PAT is good after the 7-0 start by Utah State. A defensive touchdown for the Cougars. And now with an offensive touchdown. Like the BYU fight song says, rise all loyal Cougars, hurl your challenge to the foe. 14-7.
Last play got it to him. This was a rivalry game. There's a lot of energy, but BYU now believes they can win this game.
Short kickoff. It'll be fielded inside the 10. Scarver slips his way across the 20. Flags down as Scarver gets to the 27-yard line.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 88. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down and 10.
This weekend is the American Football Coaches Association's annual Coach to Cure MD initiative, an attempt to raise awareness for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a genetic disorder in young men. 10,000 coaches are participating nationwide, including both Kalani Sitake and Matt Wells tonight. To learn more, go to www.coachtocureMD.org. Jordan Love in at quarterback for Utah State, and his first pass is incomplete, intended on the outside to Tarver.
That was what they call an RPO, a run pass option. 17 times a week ago they threw RPOs, but really impressed with the new quarterback, Jordan Love. He's got a live arm. He can spin this. Don't be surprised if Utah State takes a deep shot on this set of downs.
And this was the plan for Utah State no matter what happened with Myers. Try to get Love a series in the second quarter. See how Love does with the offense. Just as he did last week against San Jose State, even though Myers is playing well. 2nd and 10. Love from his own goal line. Hit as he throws downfield. It is knocked away at the last second and incomplete. Heck of a defensive play by Dayan Gawuloku on Roberts.
That was a beautiful play of breaking on the football by Gawuloku. Just knocking the ball, timing it up perfectly. He was in phase. It was a beautiful throw, but just a better defensive play. The crowd booing because they thought that there was early contact. I didn't. I thought that was just a heck of a football play.
So now it's 3rd and 10. You saw Love show off the arm. But another solid play by BYU's defense.
And remember the penalty that has them backed up. If they don't convert here, BYU's going to have great field position.
Play clock winding down. Matt Wells wanted a timeout. Got it in before the snap, before the flag.
Utah State takes its first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
14-7 BYU. We step aside. Third and 10 from inside your own 10.
Interesting play call with the backup quarterback here. How aggressive can you afford to be? How much do you trust him?
Got Roberts on the outside. On one side, Tarver on the other.
Man coverage up top.
Love From the goal line again, looking at Tarver, it's knocked away, incomplete. This time it's Troy Warner, younger brother of Fred, who gets into the act, and the BYU defense is playing with a swagger.
2 back-to-back great plays by defensive backs. That ball was thrown a little bit behind Tarver. He breaks to the inside, but just coming underneath. Number 1 for BYU outplayed the football for number 1 from the Aggies.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Aggie offense. Myers, the last possession at quarterback, Love this time, both resulting in 3-and-outs. It's Shelton back, Dalton to punt from the end zone. Fair catch called for, backing up to the 45-yard line. Sunday night, 6 Eastern, the steel gates will fly open for the most unpredictable 8 seconds in sports. It's the PBR Built for Tough Series. Rumble in the Rockies right here on CBS Sports Network.
Well, that's an aptly named series because we got a Rumble in the Rockies going on here. I think BYU started to find some of their offensive swagger back. We've seen them run the quarterback. We've seen them run the football. We've seen them stretch the field vertically. We've seen them use special plays. Utah State has to get back in control because right now BYU's dictating this game.
Handed off again. That's Tolutau. Tolutau pushing the pile forward to near the 50. Larson finally finishes it off. BYU first 2 possessions, 18 yards. That last drive, the touchdown, 68. And no coincidence that Hodge got hot. After the 0-for-3 start, he's completed his last 4 passes. Hands it off, and he's going to pull it this time. Take the handoff, and now Hodge on the edge. Gets another BYU first down to the 40 before Unga makes the stop.
Carter, we started this game talking about Bo Hodge's ability to run the football. He's a mobile, athletic quarterback. Just a simple zone read concept. The end crashes down, trying to tackle the big running back, but nobody was home, and Hodge makes him pay.
That looked like it was out of the Taysom Hill playbook, now with the New Orleans Saints. And now Hodge with time to throw. Deep shot to the end zone. It is incomplete. Out of bounds. Tanner just missed. Ingram in coverage.
Ingram did a nice job of using the sideline as an extra 12th defender there. Tanner's got to give himself a little bit more room because he catches the football. Oh my gosh, they may need to take another look at that. That was really close. It was on the line with his right knee as he came down.
And it is under review.
In real time, I thought he was out. We're looking pretty close here from up in the booth, and on the field it looked like he was out, but that last look we just saw, it looked like his right knee was the first part of his body to hit the ground, and it does so straddling the out of bounds line.
Clearly a catch.
There it almost looked foot and ankle first. We could slow this down. That's a touchdown.
This is up to the replay booth here in the stadium. Not going back to a conference office. It's Don Capel and Dee Anderson. This is their call.
This is a touchdown. Unbelievable effort by Tanner. It's been ruled an incompletion on the field, so there has to be incontrovertible video evidence, which if you slow it right there, that foot is down. That's a touchdown. Unbelievable effort in the rare vertical passing game from the Cougars here early in Logan.
If it's reversed, it would be the 4th catch of the year for Bo Tanner. 4th. And a 40-yard touchdown. And you think that's a touchdown?
I certainly do. Looking at it, it was a great look from the truck to slow that down and blow it up, to be able to get a really clear look at it. I thought his knee hit first, but with that clear shot, I think there's no doubt that his ankle hit first.
Then you got to make sure that he maintains possession, but that seems to be like the easy part of this call. I mean, there's no question he maintains possession. Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, the receiver got his right foot down in the end zone, maintained possession of the ball through contact with the ground, It's a touchdown.
The BYU coaches are next to us. It is a celebration because this BYU offense has back-to-back touchdown drives. A 40-yard TD as Tanner holds it in. Bo Hodge with his second touchdown pass of this second quarter.
And Carter coming in tonight, BYU only had 8 plays of 20 or more yards. That's 2 per game. Well, they've had 2 so far tonight. And that last one was a beautiful one to put them up here by 14 in the second quarter.
Brett Ullman gets it through with the Hodge family watching on as Bo has led back-to-back TD drives, 21 straight for the Cougars. $21 on the board for BYU. One of those was a pick 6, but still 2 offensive touchdowns and a half is big news for BYU considering what they did in the first 4 games.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, any one of those stats is meaningful, but the first downs is really what's catching my eye. They're clicking on all cylinders. They're using some creativity. They're running the ball efficiently enough to force Utah State to be honest, and they're playing really well on both sides of the football. I think Utah State's a little shell-shocked early on in this game, as easily as the first 2 series went for the Aggies, scoring a 9-play touchdown drive, forcing a 3-and-out. It was the Aggies' game to lose, but BYU makes a play, gets themselves right back into it, and we got ourselves a ball game.
0 yards of offense on the last 2 possessions for the Aggies. So looking for a spark. It's Lawan Hunt across the 20-yard line, across the 25, at the 26. College football tomorrow on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. You get to see 2 of the undefeated teams from the group of 5. The only 2 ranked. It's USF, ECU to begin the day at noon, presented by the Home Depot, UTEP Army, Air Force, New Mexico, and then the red-hot San Diego State Aztecs to close it out.
Oh, man, take a look at that. The undefeated group of 5 teams. We got to see San Diego State a week ago against Air Force. A lot of those American teams going to play each other, though.
Myers hands it off. Got a lost helmet for BYU, and that means Tonga has to sit a play. So you go back to Kent Myers for this series. Love gets 1, it's a 3-and-out, right back to Myers.
Got to go right back to Myers. That was the plan, was to give Love some love and let him start the second quarter. But this is an offense, I think, that needs to have some success here, if anything, to give their defense a break.
Fake the give. Myers time to throw. Flings it to the outside. Tarver makes the grab. Short of the first down by less than a yard. So it's going to be 3rd and very short. Aggies hurry to the line. They do make a substitution. So BYU has a chance to respond. They hold it before the snap on 3rd and short.
Great protection.
Myers 3rd and short. Hands gives Allen. He gives just enough, but a flag is down. Taki on the stop.
Either holding or legal hands to the face in that area.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 54. That 15-yard penalty we added to the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
And Carter, remember, Merrill Taliauli was the guy that came in for the player that lost his helmet. That was a critical set of downs to move the chains for the Aggies.
So moving across the 50 into BYU territory. Myers crosses the 50, and remember the last 2 drives, 0 yards of offense. Now the Aggies getting back in their rhythm. Myers fakes it to Allen, looks to Allen again, and now Myers on the roll. Myers going to throw downfield near the 30. It is caught. What a grab. It's Raymond again who had the TD grab for Utah State. It's a catch at the 30 and another first down.
What I love about Myers, oh my God, that's a catch in the NFL. Just a nice job by Raymond, proving to be a big playmaker here early in this first half.
13-yard gain. Myers going to pull it again. On the RPO, Myers on the edge, and Myers goes down, but it's still another gain of 8.
I'm really liking the play calling and creativity here. It was just a slip lead 87 Daz Raymond comes across like he's going to block. It ends up being almost a triple option where Kent Myers can keep it, a double option in this case, or dump it off. He elected to keep it second and short.
Give to Allen. Allen pushing, appears to be just short, bringing up third down in very short again.
And they're knocking on the door of the red zone. This is an important third down play here. Give Kent Myers a two-way go. Let him get to the perimeter.
Myers going to take a shot on third and short. Flings incomplete. More pressure up front. So that means fourth down. And this is the kicking unit coming on for Utah State.
Yeah, it was interesting. Dax Raymond wanted to go for it right there, but they got stuffed on the play before it. I think this is a good call to get the points. This is a positive drive. And remember, offensively, any drive that ends in a kick is a good one. And this is a chance to get some points back up on the board to bring this thing within 11 points.
Eberle is perfect on the season. 38-yard attempt. Eberle's 38-yard is blocked by BYU. Utah State's best drive since the opening touchdown ends in a blocked kick by Corbin Kaufusi. So 21 straight points for the BYU Cougars, and it just when it looks like the Aggies were going to get back on the board. Kaufusi, it's a goal, 6'9" to Corbin Kaufusi, but a hand on it to keep it at 21-7.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Phillips 66, proud to be here. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, perfect.
One Old Main isn't enough. Mirror look at Old Main here on the lovely campus of Utah State in Logan, Utah. BYU's got it from their 21. Hodge, play action. Hodge on the roll, flings it, it's picked off. Interception, Davis has it. Davis into the end zone, touchdown. Jalen Davis with a pick six. Pick six for BYU, and now the Aggies have one of their own. Off the deflection, Jalen Davis with his third interception of the year, and the Herd gets to celebrate. Utah State back in the end zone with a pick six.
That'll get going again. Just trying to run a naked boot off the play action. Off-target throw, hits his own players, heads up. Job by Jalen Davis, and Utah State's back in it.
Hodge had completed 5 straight, 2 of them for touchdown passes. But Hodge on the roll takes the pop. It ends up in Jalen Davis's hand. And for the third time in Jalen Davis's Aggie career, he has an INT for a TD. The Aggies are back on the board within a touchdown. Jalen Davis has the pick six, but it was a group effort.
Yes, it certainly was. You're going to see the over route here. The play action is going to get Davis up here, but then he's going to come and do a really nice job of getting in between himself and the defender. And this ball should never get thrown. Look at it. There's no way for him to throw the football. Hodge throws a pass he shouldn't throw, and just a heads-up play that time by Jalen Davis on a ball that shouldn't have been thrown. And take a look at that, Carter. All of last year, this defense for Utah State, only 10 takeaways. They've done so already through 5 games. The Aggies defense looking to be back in 2017.
They had 5 takeaways last week against San Jose State in a dominant win. And speaking of being on the road, how about Larry's Roadshow? Brought to you by Dr. Pepper, Logan, Utah. Utah State was established in 1888. I mean, this is... I think maybe the only other backdrop that you compare it to is Pro Bowl, home of the Cougars, because this is edge of the Wasatch Range, the Cache National Forest in the background. We love our trips to Logan. John Hartwell, the athletic director, always takes great care of us here. Have fun in Logan.
It's beautiful, and the leaves are starting to turn, so you get the oranges and the ambers and the yellows.
Jenny and I saw it all from our hike this morning. I'm not just going to throw you under the bus. I'm going to throw the entire crew. Nobody else was up early for our lovely hike to the Wind Cave. It's great. Tolutau in the backfield. He's going to take it. Bruising Aggie defenders as he drags them to the 35+. There is a flag down.
Offside. Defense. Number 36. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
That was Jamarcus Ingram trying to jam his receiver. Crossed into the neutral zone to do so and got picked up. And that just extends what was a pretty good first down run.
Hodge pulls it this time with a block on the edge. Hodge dives forward. Another positive gain.
I don't know how much longer they can afford to run Bo Hodges. He's getting up here slow again. I know you want to use his legs, but on the pick six, he got up slow. He's really hurt, and he's a tough kid. But you can't just go open up another can of quarterbacks if you're BYU. They need 7 healthy, and right now he's not.
Coy Detmer Jr.'s put on his helmet, and he is getting ready to go out there if Hodge can't get off the deck. The third-string BYU quarterback is ready to take the football.
These quarterbacks in this system are tough kids, but they're already down Tanner Mangum. Now Bo Hodge, and now you're down to quarterback number 3 on the road in a rivalry game.
And so with the Hodge family watching, Bo getting some serious attention from the BYU training staff. Mangum in the boot. I mean, Mangum shaking his head.
And that's an upper body injury, Carter. I don't think that's his lower extremities. It looks like he got hit.
You know that has to burn for Tanner Mangum, too. I mean, not only seeing your teammate go down, but you want to be there to help your football team.
What a tough kid, man. Tell you what, knowing him and his makeup, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back in the game if he's able to come back in. If the medical staff clears him, that's the type of kid that'll play.
But for now, it is Coy Detmer Jr. quarterbacking BYU, with offensive coordinator Ty Detmer calling the plays. And the Detmer legacy full force in 2017 for Cougar football. Coy Detmer Jr.'s first. Snappy hands off. Aggies were loaded up for the run on Tolutau.
They just brought some outside pressure off that backside edge and didn't have anybody there to be able to pick him up off the backside. And that's a no-gain play and first big opportunity here for Detmer.
Where the Hodge headed to the locker room. Coy Detmer Jr. facing 3rd and 3. Aggies showing heavy pressure.
Quick slant up top.
Fling it to the outside. Complete. On the edge. Spinning. First down BYU. Detmer finds Pau on the edge. And he's picked up his first completion and first down for the Cougars.
The Aggies were soft in coverage over the slot. They could have ran a quick slant. Instead, they throw the quick bubble screen. Great read by the quarterback to make his first conversion.
So Detmer out of the pistol. Now turns and hands. Tolutau again on the right side across the 50. Pounding his way inside the 45. Tolutau falls forward near another BYU first down.
Just some great combination blocks over here on this right side as they work it up, just getting some good push. BYU is dialing up the right side of this offensive line. Great reach right there and getting some big physical push by their back. That right side of the offensive line is humming, and the Cougars are benefiting as a result.
Gain of 10. Now Canada back in and running back. Canada takes a huge hole on the left side. Canada slips as he reaches the corner, and then he pushes the pile inside the 35 as the Cougar physicality in the run game is showing up.
And here's what happens, Carter. As a former offensive lineman, when your run game is going, you get lathered up, you want to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. At some point here, as you see a Cougar running off the field late, what's going on down here?
It looks like an equipment issue. Canada has to sub out, so now it's Dye who runs in, but through all of that confusion, BYU is going to have to use a timeout.
BYU takes his first timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
I'm not so sure whether it was equipment or whether or not he was hurt.
I think you're right. And then Canada had trouble taking that helmet off as he was trying to get off the field.
Here's Canada here. He's trying to run off. And he goes down to a knee. Then they try to run Trey Dye on late, and there was about 10 seconds left on the play clock.
And now the trainers are looking at Canada. So Hodge is down on the drive. Canada goes down on the drive. He's headed to the locker room. So now out of that timeout, back to Tolu Tau in the backfield.
I'll tell you what, this is a great situation here for some play action passing with the way the running game has been working so well.
Aggies are sucking up again on 2nd and 3. Tolu Tau on the right side picks up a couple, 3rd and short coming. Tongiai on the stop.
Offensive coordinator Ty Detmer has to be happy because his play calling becomes quite a bit easier with the addition of this run game that's starting to emerge here in the 2nd quarter. Big 3rd down here. They've been in this situation a couple times. The last time they did it, they ran the ball and they converted. Elected not to go for it before that on 4th down. If it's me, hand it to 5 and run over the right guard and tackle. It seems to be working.
The 2 tight ends out there for 3rd and short. Flags down, false start.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, Carter, this is a wideout. You got to credit this crowd. They were pretty loud on that last play, and that got those guys going. But that's a critical penalty, going from 3rd and 1 to now 3rd and 6. Changes not only the percentages, but the complete complexity of what it is you're trying to accomplish here.
On 3rd and 6, running again. Tau on the edge. Christiansen finishes it off. And the Utah State defense gets a stop. Hodge goes down. Detmer replaces him. But in the end, Utah State, led by Chase Christiansen, forces a punt.
Ian Tongiai beats his guy right off the snap. Nice job of getting penetration. That's the kryptonite of the run game that all started this drive, forcing a punt instead of going for a touchdown or a field goal because of a false start penalty, which is a terrible way to end what had been a pretty good drive up to that point.
Nathan is back. Challenging punt for Linehan. Gets it away, angles it inside the 10. That's caught by Nathan. No fair catch. He's driven back. Forward progress will be back out closer to the 10. We'll see where the forward progress is stopped. Forward progress is at the 9.
That's where he fielded it.
And Zane Anderson made a...
The ruling on the field is forward progress was stopped prior to the ball coming out. 1st and 10.
Anderson made a heck of a play anyway, but it'll be Utah State football from the 9, backed up again.
So Utah State put together a 7-play drive that ended in a missed field goal, had much better field position than they have here. It's important that they execute. Both coaching staffs told us that turnovers would be the deciding factor.
Onto the backfield left side. Hunt spins forward to the 14. Tausinga makes a stop.
Huge holes inside by that BYU defense. Utah State takes advantage of it. Only 3 down linemen.
Myers, RPO, fling it to the outside on the run pass option. On the edge finds Van Leeuwen, and Anderson puts a good lick to force third down.
BYU's running almost like a flex nose situation where they have somebody stacked right behind the nose tackle. They're doing it here again. Keep your eye right there at the line of scrimmage. Playing up near the line of scrimmage, almost like a D lineman that's flexed off because you've got a backer that's a little bit further back here. So this is a 3-down lineman look that's playing a little bit more like a 4-down with a 4-1 box.
So Myers into that look, scrambling, rolling. Myers downfield, he's going to take a shot, has a man, incomplete, intended for Van Leeuwen, who was wide open.
That was good pass protection that time. They brought a little bit of pressure again. That's going to be the spy, I think, that's trying to work him a little bit. He steps outside the pocket. Great job of running the scramble drill, but just throws it just outside the outstretched hands of Van Leeuwen.
Dalton hits it inside the 5. Bounces and takes a good roll for Dalton and the Aggies out of bounds near the 41-yard line.
Well, it's been all Bohaj early on. We've seen some good and some bad. This was a touchdown pass on the double reverse pass on the wheel route that really kind of sparked this offense. Then he threw a beautiful pass in the corner to Tanner, but he's been banged up. Threw a pick 6 here and a ball that should have never left his hand. He goes down, grabs his ankle, got up gimpy, and then he's running the football again. Gets hit with contact and extremely slow to get up. He's tough, but hasn't been very durable in the first half of this ball game. Utah State's been bringing it, which puts us in with quarterback number 3 for BYU, Coy Detmer Jr.
Detmer turns and hands. Tolutau across the 50, pushing the pile again. He's going to be stopped. They'll mark him down at the 48, but it's still a solid gain and a tough physical run from Tolutau, the freshman from Glendale, Utah.
He got hit about 3 yards down the field, but dragged 3 or 4 defenders another 5 yards.
Give it to him again. Left side, easy first down. Now, Coy Detmer Jr.'s best friend right now is Ola Tolutau, because he's taking pressure off of the third-string quarterback.
Now remember, he only had 5 carries in the first 3 games, and then against Wisconsin had 13 carries. Showed up to camp after his mission a little bit overweight, had some foot injuries, but conditioning's been the only thing that's really been a hamper for number 5. But I got to tell you, Tolutau has been the star of this game so far offensively, and Utah State really struggling to get him on the ground when he gets going.
60 yards, Tolutau on the right side with a good block on the edge. He forces it, shoves it, loose football, Tolutau loses it at the 35. Fight for the football at the bottom of the pile. Awaiting, there it is, Aggie football. Utah State gets the takeaway with 4:22 before the half. Derek Larson gets the fumble recovery. The second takeaway of the night, the 11th on the year for Utah State.
When you get into that contact zone, you got to cover that football up. Beautiful off-tackle play. He's got 2 hands on it there. He turns up. He's only got 1 hand on it, and the ball gets ripped out, is on the ground before he starts going down. And the Aggies force a turnover. Pretty good field position and plenty of time remaining on the clock with 2 timeouts.
Allen in the backfield. Myers has it. Myers gets to near the 40. Last time Myers and the Utah State offense had it, they managed only 6 yards.
They've really struggled kind of in this second quarter. They got to find a rhythm.
Myers flings it. That's incomplete. On the run pass option again, intended for Byers. But it brings up third down.
I think he could have handed the football off there and had a nice gain. Decision making at the quarterback is critical. And I don't think he made a good one there, and it certainly wasn't an accurate pass to boot.
Myers had the touchdown pass on the opening possession for Utah State. And threw a pick six.
Taki lined up flex there again in kind of no man's land. He's the spy for the quarterback.
Myers shot on 3rd and 6, incomplete. Overshooting Byers. Troy Warner there in coverage on Alex Byers. So Kent Myers is headed back to the sideline, and Utah State will give it back to the Cougars.
Utah State not playing very good complementary football here. Their defense comes up with a heck of a play, forces a turnover, but credit BYU's defense, another 3 and out. This is a group that is really starting to bow its neck and play some good football here.
Myers 0 for his last 3. A much improved punting unit for Utah State. Timeout BYU. There are also flags down. Here's the explanation from Mike DeFee.
Substitution infraction, 12 men on defense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Now Kalani Sitake saying, I thought I got the timeout granted. So there'll be more discussion here. As to whether that timeout was granted. And it was not. So no timeout, penalty is enforced. 4th down coming.
Got to watch the special or the fake here for sure.
From the 45 on 4th and 1. Dalton hits it near the 34-yard line. Jacobson is back. They will bounce at the 5 and then trickle into the end zone for the touchback.
Little too good, but that was a booming punt.
Coming up on the Verizon halftime report, Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Christian Fourier, and Brian Jones. An update on the Miami Duke game. Nebraska, it's an active, it's a big Friday night, including USC and Washington State still to come.
Yeah, I think Washington State has a chance to beat USC. They've been pretty inconsistent. Their offensive lines look good, not so good at times. And that, aside from Washington State's ability to throw the football, they've got a really good defense. I think that could be an interesting game on a short week for the Trojans.
For BYU alum Mike Leach in Washington State.
Yes.
An improved defense.
And we got the Cougar doing the gyro.
Yeah. Well, Cosmo is getting it. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Could you ever gyro? Be honest.
No. No, that's I would get served.
Well played.
So it's Coy Detmer Jr. back out there running his Uncle Ty Detmer's offense. You go back with the Detmer family. I know you
quite a bit. This is a little bit of a reality check on my age going on right now.
Coy Detmer Jr. flings to the outside. It's complete on the edge. Powell again has been the featured tight end receiver tonight for BYU with a gain of 5.
This is an interesting series here with a little bit over 3.5 minutes to go. BYU with 2 timeouts. They will receive the second half kickoff. So if they can get some points here, that could be really advantageous for them to be able to put back-to-back drives and extend this lead that they've created.
High snap. Detmer inside the 5, falls on the football back at the 1-yard line. With the high snap, Detmer has to run all the way back almost to the goal line. They're going to mark him closer to the 2, in fact, between the 2 and the 3, but it's a loss of over 20. It's a loss of 22 yards.
Crucial mistake, bad snap by Tijon Karoma. We featured him in lineups. He had a nose directly over him, but he was back blocking, looking like it was going to be a gap scheme. And that is a crucial mistake but they got very lucky that this ball didn't go into the end zone. Great opportunity for the Aggies.
Aggies are pinning their ears back on 3rd and 27. Give on the right side, just get it out of the end zone for Tolutau. 4th down coming, and now the Aggies with 2:12 on the clock, 2 timeouts left for the Aggies. They're going to get the football back. Don't use a timeout here. A chance to stop the clock prior to the punt for 4th down. That could have been an opportunity to save valuable seconds for your offense with good field position.
The strategy here for them is to get this ball back with 1.5 minutes at midfield with 2 timeouts. With Kent Myers' ability to throw the ball vertically, that's a pretty good situation.
Lenahan to punt out the back of his own end zone. Gets it away. Nathan grabs it at the 43. And with 1:34, I mean, with this short of a field, 1:34, I mean, you don't even, clock is almost not a factor, especially with how quick the Aggies go.
It's a factor, but to your point, because this is an offense built on speed, they got to make sure that they execute and get first downs. That's the most important thing in a 2-minute situation. Get first downs, don't take a sack. Get first downs, get out of bounds. First downs, get out of bounds. They've got plenty of time, especially with two timeouts on the short field.
The only field goal they attempted was blocked.
It's a low kick and a 6'9" defensive lineman.
Hunt on the right side. Hunt. Positive gain. Let's check with Jenny.
Yeah, some tough news for BYU. Quarterback Bo Hodge will not return tonight. I'm not being told exactly what the injury is, but from my perspective, as he was walking to the locker room, he looked extremely out of it, guys.
Coy Detmer Jr.'s game now as Myers takes a shot to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Tarver hauls it in. Ken Myers to run Quavian Tarver. A PAT away from a tie game. 1:11 before the half. Second touchdown pass of the game from Myers. The first was on the opening possession for the Aggies. And now, at the end of the first half, Myers into the end zone again. This time to Tarver.
Making that last touchdown all the more important is the news we just got about Bo Hodge.
Eberle's PAT is good. And we're even at 21. It was a 7-0 start for the Aggies. Then BYU rattled off 21 straight to take command. And now the Aggies have evened it before the half.
Well, here he is just down here at the bottom, going to run a go route. It's one-on-one crime run. Quavian Tarver being covered, and one-on-one coverage by Troy Warner. They're chicken fighting. Great push off there at the last second by run Quavian Tarver to get himself open. Watch his right hand. They're chicken fighting. But I don't know if you can throw a more beautiful ball on the outside shoulders. Drops it into a bucket by Kent Myers. That was an outstanding ball.
And a heck of a catch by Tarver. Yeah, that's reason to celebrate.
Gives himself the separation at the last minute. And remember, what was the key that they told us they needed to do to win this ball game?
As simple as this, play catch.
And that's exactly what they did on that last one.
And BYU is down to Coy Detmer Jr., the third-string quarterback. Treneman thought about bringing it out. Got some good advice. Took a knee, so it'll be BYU football at the 25. Now, your BYU is at the 25-yard line at 1:11. Do you run the football here, or are you trying to score on this drive before the half?
I don't think you try to score and take too many chances. Remember, you get the ball back at halftime if you're BYU, and Utah State has 2 timeouts. So you have to get at least a first down to burn clock, because you don't want to give it back to the Aggies, but you can't take too many chances trying to do so.
Utah State has a penchant for scoring on defense. They already have 3 defensive scores this year, including the pick 6 by Davis. So we'll see what the strategy is. It's Dye in the backfield. Tolu Tau fumbled, remember, 2 possessions ago. So now it's Dye, and Dye, a patient run. He picks his way across the 30, falls forward again. And Trey Dye, the junior from Abilene, Texas, Cooper High School.
That was an absolutely terrible effort by the Aggies on defense, not running to the football. And a nice hard run that time by Dye.
Detmer back to pass on 2nd down. Seen, it's picked off. Levitt has it. Down at Levitt with the interception. Levitt inside the 25. BYU takes the shot, and it ends up in the hands of the former Cougar, Dallin Levitt. He played 2 years for BYU, and now in his 2nd year playing for the Aggies, he has the 3rd takeaway by the Utah State defense in the first half.
The vocal leader with the great eyes, keeping it on the quarterback, following him exactly, telegraphs the young Detmer exactly where he wants to throw the football. Dallin Levitt jumps the route, gets another turnover, and the exact thing, Carter, we talked about them not doing is what they did, and they're about to pay for it potentially.
Myers flings it complete. Tarver again. Tarver has it at the 15. Still 2 timeouts. 23 seconds. Aggies will hurry. Myers takes a shot. End zone. Incomplete. Out the back of the end zone. Colston Green. Gawaloku in coverage. This is the first trip to the red zone for either team tonight. So it's the first time we get to tell you that tonight's red zone is brought to you by Verizon, and that Utah State needs to be better than their touchdown percentage.
And there's no question about that. And they might have thought about taking a timeout prior to that play. That last play took 11 seconds to get off. That's too much.
See if they have one more shot for the end zone. Myers looking for Tarver. Fade. Tarver incomplete. 6 seconds showing. 4th down. Here comes the kicking unit.
I might have tried to take a play over the middle with 2 timeouts. You can afford to get tackled in the middle of the field and call a timeout. Nonetheless, you've got 6 seconds to get a field goal off. That wasn't awful management of the clock in that situation in the 3rd down, but it could have gone a little bit differently had they taken a timeout on the 2nd down play.
That 38-yard attempt earlier was blocked by Kafusi. So now a 32-yarder, and it is good, giving Utah State a 24-21 lead, 3 seconds before the half.
And Carter, compounding this is all the struggles that BYU has had offensively. By far the most points that they've scored in the last couple weeks, if not all season. And now you're down to your 3rd quarterback who's trying to take some shots downfield. You turn it over, you give him a short field. It's going to be really hard for BYU to dig themselves out of this hole. They've got to rely on their defense to kind of stop these Aggies and make a play, because this crowd is humming.
24-21 is where we and a lot of people thought this game would end, much less at the half.
We started this show talking about we had no idea what these 2 teams were made of, and that they didn't either, that they were looking to prove to themselves and to the rest of the country what they had. Well, we've seen both of these squads respond. It's been a dogfight back and forth, each offense, each defense, each special team making plays. I think we're going to be in for a heck of a 2nd half.
Short kickoff, just trying to make sure there's no big return. Bobble picked up, and that is how the first half will come to an end. So it was 7-0 to start for Utah State, then 21 straight for BYU, and now 17 straight points at the end of the half for the Utah State Aggies. And the battle for the wagon wheel, Aggies by 3 at the half.